Hello everyone, my name is VoidDoctor and welcome back to another episode on the InfinityCraft Server. And today, we begin this episode in front of the castle project that we've been working on for the last few episodes. We've actually now had daily episodes for 3 days, considering that I've really been wanting to work on this. So I've definitely been pushing out, definitely been pushing out the episodes faster and not really scheduling them to be further apart. So they're definitely coming out faster now, so I can work on this castle faster. And off camera, in between this episode and last episode, I've made quite a bit of progress. I've made these two towers. They're actually different heights because I thought it actually looked better when they were different heights. I've made these walls. Funny thing about these walls, there's nobody onto them right now, so that's great. And I've worked on these walls as well. So, and of course, I've worked on the keep. The keep is, the keep walls at least are, not the keep, the Great Hall. The Great Hall's walls are, well, everything's plain stone right now, but they're complete. And the archway, where I'm going to put a large door at some point, probably this episode. But of course, the goal for this episode is to first add roofs to everything that needs them, and then also add detailing and texture to all of the bare stone walls. Now, I have done more work than just lay out bare stone foundations. I've also been working on these arches, sort of making them look a bit better, and I've also been working on kind of just terraforming the landscape a bit. This still needs to be worked on, but there's some stuff that I've been doing off camera. And these arches, I think they might be kind of helpless, because even if we do throw down some stairs, this is actually a pattern I haven't tried yet, but hold on, we'll see how this looks. Yeah, it doesn't look the greatest, so I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm probably going to have to, I'm going to have to find a way to make them look better than they do right now, but right now this is kind of what we're stuck with, because they're not the easiest constructions to work with in terms of detailing. So yeah, that's pretty much it with those. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but the first thing I'd like to do is just to finally, and I've also worked on shaping up these towers. These towers look I'm very proud of how these look now, especially since they don't look like they're going to fall over as soon as you put them up one time. So pretty nice. But the first thing I'd like to do is finally break up bare stone walls with some nice stone bricks, and finally get these walls situated looking better than they did before, than they do right now, because right now they look pretty bad. But once we start introducing some stone bricks using what's called the 70-30 rule, where I actually learned this from a content creator called Pixel Riffs. I've recommended him before to you guys. He is an amazing content creator. Yeah, I basically just learned it from him, who learned it from another. It's a pretty popular rule in the world of like cartooning, and it's basically where 70% of the wall, or whatever, 70% of the design is not detailed, whereas 30% of it is detailed, and it makes it look a lot more clean, and it sort of gives your eyes a break, so that it still looks nice, but it's not super overwhelming. Whereas if just a big stone brick wall kind of looks a bit overwhelming almost, so sort of just peppering in some stone bricks, maybe leaving some, just some shapes of them, like sort of almost designs, except you don't want them to look like designs. You want them to sort of just look like, formations, sort of to just suggest that it's a completely stone brick wall, and not that it's got some, and not that it's all bare stone. You can sort of just suggest that it's stone bricks by having some stone bricks peppered in there, and it works pretty effectively, as I've shown off in the past, like over there. I mean, that's all stone bricks, but it's not all detailed, and over on that house, so you don't have to use your detail block every time. So I think that's what we're gonna do right now, is just introduce some stone bricks and therefore some texture into these walls. And I'm starting to realize right now this whole place is looking like a giant golf course, because there's no grass, and there's no tall grass. It's all grass blocks, and so there's no height variation. So it just looks like a big golf course. It's pretty funny. Yeah, so we're just trying to sort of introduce some texture into the walls here, sort of like on this tower. See, it sort of suggests that it's a full stone wall, and definitely breaks up the monotony of just all stone bricks. And then another trick we can do to not break up the stone, but definitely something I'd like to do on these towers, is because I've sort of given them this shape here, it means we can use stairs to sort of add a transition, and that definitely looks pretty nice too, with the stairs sort of functioning as transition blocks. And also here, again, transition blocks, pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm really happy with how these stone bricks came in to the walls, and also how definitely these transition blocks look. They definitely make the tower look a bit more smooth and round, and probably also on these little, I'm going to call them they almost look like shields, kind of, sort of here. Add them in there. Let's see how that looks. Well, I'm going to clean up the scaffolding so we can get a better idea of what it looks like. Yeah, that definitely looks nice. I'm going to continue with that. And I think we're going to add in the rest of these details in the form of a third-person time-lapse. So let the time-lapse roll. And yes, I did get my shaders back, so that's also very nice. And here we are, folks. It is so exciting seeing the castle sort of coming together before my eyes. You know, like I feel like every episode it just feels more put together. You know, more like one cohesive build, except for the back. The back doesn't really exist yet. It's still just a bunch of plans, but that will be fixed off camera. And no, we won't be having any more like detailing time lapses. It will all the detailing, all like adding stone bricks and things will just be done off camera, because that is pretty boring. And this was just sort of to show how my detailing process works in these builds. And hold on, I just realized this spiral staircase is pretty bad. Also, a lot of these towers still don't have ground floors yet, so that's something that is probably going to change sometime soon. But here we go. Okay, this is so much easier to climb the stair. Oh my, yes. Okay, this is exactly what it was missing. I know there's something with spiral staircases and castles and needing to needing to have room to fight, incoming invaders. So I assume that actually this way it would work better, because, if most people are right-handed, then swinging your sword this way means that you wouldn't hit it against the pillar, which, yeah, that makes sense, actually. Unless you're fighting this way, but I'd assume that this would be the way that the attackers are fighting from, and they'd be bashing their swords against this large pillar. So that definitely makes sense to have the pillar on this side and the spiral staircase going down this way. So that's just a bit of realism factor here. However, the next thing I'd like to add to the castle is obviously some roofs for the towers, and probably starting the roof for the Great Hall. Definitely not finishing it, because there's going to be some rafters and things in there, but definitely starting the roof of the Great Hall, because it's going to be quite a large roof, and it's a fairly simple design for the Great Hall. It's a fairly simple design, just involving some stripped dark oak logs. But the first thing I'd like to design a roof for is this tower here, because it's no, not this one, this one over here, because it's quite a tall tower. It's not as tall as this one, as these two over here, but it's still quite tall, and I have a pretty cool roof in mind that we can use. So I think I'm going to figure out how exactly to add this roof to a tower. I know it's possible because I've done it before, but I know it's going to be kind of tricky with this tower shape, so I think I'm going to just do that in a creative testing world. So I was really happy with how this, sort of tower template came together, until I realized that when you look at this side, with that window there, it looks like a face. Those look like the eyes, those look like the cheekbones, those blocks right there, and that looks like a mouth wearing lipstick. Okay, I need to fix this. But yeah, otherwise I'm reasonably happy with how this has come together. I'm probably going to test a few other designs and see how those look, but otherwise I'm really happy with how this has come together, especially with these big windows right here. I'm imagining someone sort of, looking out over the land from here. Pretend this is the, I have the hiccups right now. Pretend this is the base. And those llamas are, that wandering trader is the villagers. Just kidding, he's the imposter. No. Alright, so this is the design that I've settled on. It's pretty much the same as the other one, except it's a little bit more rounded, kind of, because I added these little bits that sort of make it curve down in a way, and that, I think that gives it a bit more shape and a bit more character. And of course, this isn't what it'll look like in actuality. It looks something more like this, so it wouldn't look so plain on the bottom. I was a little bit worried for a second, and then I realized, oh yeah, it's just because it hasn't been, fully detailed yet. And so, yeah, and this is actually something that I'd really like to do, is that towards the bottom of the towers, I feel like if I had access to these, I would, I feel like it would be cool if I could do that. But unfortunately, I don't have access to vines right now, because I haven't bothered to harvest any from another InfinityCrafter's base. So I don't have any vines right now. Although if I did, I'd probably do something like this, which would look awesome. I was going to say, okay, let's start building this roof, and then I realized I only have 16 spruce logs and 4 spruce stairs to my name, which are, 2 materials that I'm going to need to use, or actually, I just convert these into planks, but still, I don't have enough materials is what I'm trying to get across, so I need to go farm some spruce now. Alright, folks, so I've gotten all the spruce I need for this roof. It's probably more than enough, but, it's always nice to come prepared. And I also made the tower slightly taller, only 3 blocks taller, but that makes quite the difference. It now feels absolutely enormous down here, so that's a good thing. And I think it's finally time we get started on this roof, and it's a fairly simple design. It's just, the sort of peaked roof that I use on a lot of buildings. And the only special thing about it is that it kind of tapers or comes in on either side, which is it's definitely different, and it's also a very good excuse to add very large windows, which is nice. So I'm gonna get working on this. All right, folks. So I finished up the little room up at the top. It's nothing special. It's there's actually nothing in it right now. But it's kind of a quaint little space, and the views are absolutely fantastic from up here. I can't imagine what this place will look like with shaders on once I test that out. But the views right now are absolutely fantastic. That's a little bit awkward looking, but the views from up here are amazing, and the fact that it's so high up means I'd assume that an angry protest or an angry mob on the ground couldn't chuck a rock in the window and potentially hurt someone who is inside. So it's a fairly protected space. I mean, maybe if you were here, but there'd probably be guards or something up here, and it'd be very well defended. So I'd assume that those windows are pretty hard to destroy. Now, the next thing I'd like to do is get the actual gate here situated, because right now it doesn't exist. We don't have any sort of gate here, so I just want to build like a simple little, probably just an arch here, and then connect it, and then have it probably be 3 wide, and then have a gate coming down from the middle of it. So that's actually exactly what I'm going to do right now, and then we'll figure out what we want the gate to look like afterwards. All right, so this arch has come together quite nicely. I think it's quite a nice shape. Maybe we'll add some stone bricks in later, but right now both of the stairs and slabs are stone bricks, so I don't really see a need to add more. But I had a pretty cool idea of using fence gates, and then for like the tips, or like parts that we want to sort of stick out of the bottom, like a little bit of variation, we could use nether brick fence gates, because those don't actually stick to, they don't have like the little supporting beams when they are used in conjunction with regular wooden fence gates. So potentially, if we use those in conjunction with regular wooden fence gates, we could have some sort of like, we could make it look a bit more varied and things like that, which would be pretty cool. So something sort of like this is what I was thinking, sort of, where they don't really connect. Will that? Oh, that doesn't look great. There. That. No, that. Oh my gosh. Okay, here. And then there, to fix that, we can take that out. Go inside the tower. Where did I take that block out, though? I don't exactly know where I took that block out. Oh, I get it. And then you just pop a stair in there, and hopefully, if I remember correctly, no, it doesn't work anymore. Okay, that I thought it still worked. It used to be that the stairs would not connect, or if I'm fairly sure, maybe it's the other side of stairs. I don't remember, but yeah, I think it's actually this side of stairs, which makes sense that this fence wouldn't connect. So. Okay, so this is precisely the effect that I wanted to achieve. You notice how the nether brick fences don't have the cross beams, like the the little connecting beams? That means that they sort of look like little jagged pieces. They could maybe go into the ground, like slot into a hole or something, or maybe just they give it a bit of texture, a little bit of variation. And I just think it looks pretty cool to have like it makes it feel more like a gate and less like just a solid fence, which is not the effect that I was going for. Anyhow, I think the last thing that I'd like to work on in this episode is to put a roof on. Is to put a roof on this tower, and it's not gonna be either this kind of roof, or it's not gonna be either of those two kind of roofs. I have a pretty interesting idea. It's gonna be sort of similar to this, but it's gonna be a much steeper variation. It's gonna be I don't know how to describe it. It's going to be a cone, but it's going to be extremely... A spire, that's the term. It's going to be basically a spire. It's going to have... I'm pretty excited for this, and I don't think we're going to do anything time-lapse related for this. I think we're just going to do a little progress report at the end. I said that weird... That's not how you pronounce it. Okay, anyway, anyway, yeah, so I think I'm going to figure out a block palette for this because I don't want to use the same block palette. And I'll get back to you guys with the progress report. Alright, folks, so I'm actually really happy with how this spire came together. That top little bit right there definitely looks like it hurt to land on if you're, falling out of the sky with an elytra or something. That would be a very unfortunate thing to land on. And I'm also just really happy with how the rest of the spire came together. It's a 2-block step. I wish I could have made it 3, but it just looked kind of awkward with a 3-block 3-block step. So 3 3 3. So 2 is what I was able to achieve and not have it look kind of strange. And it has this little rim around it, which sort of again makes it look a bit more balanced, because before it looked like I don't know, it looked like the tower had a hat on or something, and it still kind of does, but that's okay. That's kind of what gives it a bit of character. I mean, kind of all the towers have that, but this one really looks like a witch hat or something. Looks like something straight out of Harry Potter. That's actually pretty funny. But yeah, it's what gives the castle character, And I kind of want to do this again, maybe for the residential tower, give it like an attic or something. So that will definitely be a tower design we repeat. Same with probably this one. These are kind of going to be the 2 front towers, sort of sort of unique towers. So I'm probably not going to repeat this roof design again, but probably going to repeat this one a couple more times, and definitely repeat this one at least once more. But I think this is where we are going to wrap up today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. My name, as always, has been VoidDoctor, and I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.